Hello, I'm a duck. Let's talk about reach. This is part 2 of my personal project titled Chill Light. I tried my best to illustrate a beautiful feeling and energy that I get from very specific songs and types of music. There were a lot of different concepts that came from this, and to this day I think back about what I could do better to, possibly better reach this energy. The first step to this is reviewing what we've got so far, so let's get into the video. The muse of this world was now here, meaning that I could show how people in the environment would be impacted by her. The natural next step to this would have been to create said environment and place the people in it, but I craved more interaction. I needed to see people feeling this energy. By this point, I had plenty of images for reference, so I took all of them and sketched out the shape of a woman who maybe saw the energy. Maybe up close, maybe afar, who knows? The fact of the matter is that it was there and she knew. That was the vibe for this art. I was still pretty unsure of myself here, but there was no way I was going to let this idea fade. A rough sketch to get my shapes down is how I always begin. Then, I was more meticulous about the defining sketch. Honestly, my sketches are and will probably mostly be messy. I'm not ashamed of it, and in fact, I see it as detrimental to my art style. There was a time when even friends asked me why my sketch was so rough, and the real answer is line confidence. When I sketch sometimes, I'm finding the line because for me, drawing is an adventure. Some will say that I lack discipline, and that my line art should be better. And to them, I say, shut up. You draw the picture with perfect line art the whole way through if you want it so bad. If I want to make clear and concise line art, I can, and here's proof. But the fact of the matter is that I don't have line confidence for everything, and I'm okay with that. Maybe one day my skills will bring me to the point where my line art is truly different, but I'm not an art god. Yet. Something a bit odd I sometimes still do is dump more color in certain areas and blend it to increase the value. For some reason, I feel like this is weird when objectively there should be absolutely nothing wrong with it. Now, it's time to figure out her clothing. I needed her outfit to be simple. I feel like it lacks detail here and I have an insane urge to do more to this. Clothing before a certain point in my art is truthfully irritating. Looking back on it, it's pretty bothersome, I guess. It may sound like I am unnecessarily negative towards my past artwork and process, but it's because I feel like I have an insane drive to fix it. I've truly grown in so many different aspects since then. So actually, here's a quick example of what I mean, rather than me rambling about it. Throughout all of this project, I didn't like the lips on most of these people I drew, so I started a study. I'm sure you can guess which one. Here is a simple lip study from around that same time. You should recognize this from my Instagram or the lip study video. And now, let's take a look at this version. More stylization, more depth, and on top of that, I did it much faster. I didn't even look at the original reference, I just looked at my art study. Because of what I learned from that study, I was able to provide myself with what I saw was lacking off of pure instinct. The beauty of building your mental library. The question after that is, why are we even talking about old art then? Just tell us about the new things. The whole reason I was able to improve was making mistakes in the first place. I've said it before in other videos and other different ways. Failure is your roadmap to success. drawing something that you don't have a grasp on to the best of your ability, then taking the time to be introspective about what you don't like will open up new possibilities. You see exactly what you need to study. Don't overwhelm yourself by saying you'll draw the entire picture over again and see how it turns out. Instead, take the time to pick it apart, piece by piece. Do a study of each piece separately. And once you're satisfied, move on to the next. Art is patience. Take your time. Learn to love the journey. The next step here was blending, which around this time I had a lot of fun with. And then the cleanup, which took forever and I didn't have a lot of fun with. I was happy about it being done, but there was more of that I was going to put myself through eventually. This was all important because we needed to get to making our background. The setting of this art was going to be some type of dance club. I wasn't sure exactly what the layout would be, but I had enough details. Back wall, railing, lights. Yep, that's all I need. There's a very clear reason for that. When I'm in the middle of drawing something, the last thing I want to do is overcomplicate my art by getting lost in meaningless details. It's one thing to have a burst of inspiration during the creation and add exciting new details, but stopping the process to say,
"Oh, there should be a person in the background. Wait, where's he coming from? Should I put a hole here? What's down there? Is he coming from the bar or the bathroom? I drew him with a drink in his hand, so it has to be a bar. Do I have bar references already? This bar sucks, and it doesn't even structurally make sense for it to be here. I think I should change it to a bathroom, but he's holding a drink in his hand, and I really like his hand. His shirt looks dumb. Do the buttons even shine like that? Who let you leave the house like this? What do bathroom signs look like? If they don't have any, how would he know where it is? Okay, now blur for perspective.
or we just leave it as a wall and save ourselves some money and a therapy trip. Color filling our dancer is our next step. There's a civilized way of doing this with refinement. We're taught early on in life to color inside the lines, and there is elegance to that practice. Then there's what I did. The funny thing about this is that I forced myself into another cleanup phase. Yep, I definitely cause my own pain sometimes. Now it's time to get to the coloring. I took a purely instinctual approach here. There were types of colors that I wanted, and I made sure that I threw them in. My process now relies much more on color theory these days, but I'll be honest, there's still heavy experimentation. It's still pretty common to see me throw a random color in because I like it. We're playing the dance of light and shadow now. Soft lighting, shadows, textures, all the fun things to make the art pop. This is usually my favorite part of the process, and it seems like with every brushstroke, something more is revealed. Even with how the environmental lighting comes into play, there is something new to explore. This is what I meant when I was talking about random sparks of inspiration. Having a moment of, I need to have more texture. Which one of these 3 brushes will give me the right vibe? It's an exciting feeling. Maybe the first one looks good. Maybe the second one looks better. Maybe, before even selecting the 3rd brush, you see a different 4th and 5th brush, which in combination will give you exactly what you want. It's all experimentation. And ultimately, that was kind of something that I had to learn. I should have experimented a whole lot before actually starting it, and it's okay. Because I came out with something that I actually really liked. I hope you all enjoyed my ridiculous ramble through this, and how I actually came upon the realization that I needed to do a lip study. This project showed me much more than just the fact that I needed to do a lip study. As always, you can find me on Instagram as SofaKingDuck. Someone told me I should start posting on TikTok. So now I'm on TikTok. I kind of thought I was going to avoid that platform for the longest because I didn't think I wanted to make a whole bunch of shorts like that. With that being said, I'll see you soon.